Expectations and Candor Conversations. In my 16 years as a professional leadership development and organizational development consultant, working with various organizations, with teams, the most common piece that comes up with teams, whether it be from an engagement survey, from a feedback session, that have said, hey, there's a struggle between how we're communicating with our leader, and it usually correlates to low levels of engagement, low levels of trust, versus what we see oftentimes with leaders that have high levels of engagement, high levels of trust, are these two pieces: expectations and Candor Conversations. And the first one being expectations not being clear and team members feeling as though they don't know how to approach their leader to discuss this because of that very piece, that the expectations aren't scoped out. What does that look like? And so as a leader, really think about how are you providing those expectations in a clear way, in a measurable way, in a way that invites those on your team to step into accountability, so that if accountability isn't there, it's very easy to approach that and have that conversation and discuss what that looks like from a place of non-judgment, but fact-based. And it's really nice to know from a team member's perspective to be able to say, I understand what that looks like, and also have that same level of confidence if there's that discussion to be able to say, all right, I appreciate that, and I also would like to challenge this respectfully, and here's how I see that based off of these expectations. And so it opens the doors for some really healthy conversation between a leader and those that they have the privilege and opportunity to serve. And then the other piece of that is Candor Conversations. And so often team members will say, wow, this is a lot bigger and it sounds like it stemmed from this piece over here. Why didn't you talk to me about it then 6 months ago? And I've had leaders share, they've come and said, Jared, I've got this team member and I need to talk to them, and here's what's been happening. And they'll give me 5 examples. And I'll say, okay, so what happened the first time that you talked to that team member? Well, I didn't. It was small then and not really a big deal. All right, well, you remember it. So it was a big enough deal to store there and to allow it to take some space. And that's when they start to go down the line and realize, okay, this has grown. And so often we avoid having that initial conversation because we think, it's not a big deal. Great. Treat it that way. It may not be a big deal, and that makes it an opportunity to have a Candor conversation. That's a conversation that has meaningful intent, that's purposeful. It may not be easy, but it's coming from a place of positive intent. And what it does is it opens the door for deeper, meaningful discussion when someone on your team knows they're not going to be blindsided out of the blue and hear about 6 months of examples. They're going to know they have a leader that comes to them when something is there and comes with exploratory mindset, curiosity. Let's explore this. Let's see. And it also helps continue to shape those expectations, and people aren't left wondering. So really think about that as a leader. How are you shaping those expectations, and how are you bringing team members in to partner with that? And how do you step into those Candor Conversations so that it sets that precedence, that expectation with your team that they know, hey, if something's going astray, that's okay. My leader's going to come from a place of curiosity, and it doesn't get to the point where it's now dropped below that level of needed outcome and it becomes corrective action, but that it stays within that zone of curiosity and growth and performance improvement opportunities. And so really capture where those two pieces come in for you, where are the ways that you can strengthen it. And if you'd like to discuss further and see some of the different methods that I've used with people or different resources, feel free to reach out.